Good evening everyone, it's Michelle Pepper here. Here is a card I recently shared in my social media. Now sometimes there is a card, in the card you want it to have a little bit of a surprise element in it. So this one here is called a Twist and Pop Fancy Fold card. The reason being, when you open it you can see the twisting and the popping. Fun, huh? Now there are lots of videos that shows you how to create a twist and pop card. Typically these videos will give you specific measurements, and so if you're like me, every time you want to go and create this card you have to watch the video again, or you would have had to make notes of all the measurements that are required, which can be a bit limiting. So for example, one of the things that this reminded me of with these panels, it typically comes in the surprise element in there, the pop-up, usually comes in a panel, 4 panels. But actually when you know how to make this, when you've learned how to make this, you can see that it can be actually, you can actually have like 6 panels if you wanted to, or 8 panels. I'm not sure why you would want that many, but you may want to. So for example, if you wanted to be able to put letters on here to spell out somebody's name, like Michelle, Michelle, so you need 8 panels. So perhaps you want to make one with 8 panels. All right, so so there are lots of flexibility. So what I'm seeing here though are the 4 panels, and it immediately reminds me of the Memories and More card packs that Stampin' Up offers. And I was thinking to myself that wouldn't it be fun, because there are lots of all these cute cards that I could readily just adhere them onto here, and the bulk of it is done. So having seen May made its video tutorial, that really helped me be able to work out the measurements that I would need. So let me give you an example. Memories and More card, if you don't know what they are, they come in packs, and typically they have 4x6 cards, like so. Okay, some with words and some that are just images, and then there are also the 3x4 cards. All right, and usually it comes with sticker sheets as well, and so you have some sticker sheets to use. Now they are designed, actually let me show you where they're from. In every Stampin' Up catalog there's usually one product offering that is Memories and More. So in the annual catalog May 2021 to April 2022, if you turn to page 127, you see the page called Memories and More. All right, sorry about the glare. So it's this one here, number 1, and you can see it's called What a Year Memories and More card pack. So that's the one that I showed you here. It doesn't come, by the way, it doesn't come with the stamp case, the clear case, but you can buy these from Stampin' Up as well separately. On page 145 down here, you can see it says standard stamp cases. There's storage cases to organize your stamp sets and accessories. There are 4 cases in the pack. And so yeah, so this way you can keep all your Memories and More, and you can keep them organized in cases like this. All right, so these are designed for you to do memory keeping quite quickly and in quite a fun way, without too much time that typically can be consumed when you are doing a scrapbook page. So you have pocket pages, and you basically slip in the photos and the cards, and then you spend a bit more time. It gives you more time then to do the journaling bit, to the memory keeping side of it. Now the more part is obviously is that because you've got all these cards that you can actually make greeting cards out of. So you can use that as your background, and you can have some wordings and some, using the stickers. You can I don't know, you can maybe do that. I don't know, you know, I'm just giving you an example here. So yeah, so that's the more part where you can actually make greeting cards out of it as well. So back to our tutorial, which is on how to make a twist and pop card with memories and more card packs. Now, here's some examples. I've made this one with it's an old retired memories and more card pack, old retired DSP and papers as well. So I just wanted to show you the example. So when you open it, twist and pop, and you have this fun, quite special really, card, I feel that, you know, that would be wonderful to give to a friend, your mom, teacher, anybody really. Obviously, you know, that the sentiment suits. So that's one example. And here's another one. So yeah, so I was going to show you, I was going to say that these are obviously a lot bigger than this one here. And the reason being, it is because it is determined by the 3x4 card size that I have used in the pop-up bit. Okay, these cards here. So it's determined by that. And that's one of the rules that May made it shared. And so let us walk through now in the tutorial, right, on how to do that. So out of the What a Year Memories and More card, I have picked out these cards that I wanted to use in the middle, in that pop-up middle, the 4-panel, right? So I have designed this card to commemorate my husband and my 21st anniversary, which is today on the 25th of November. So yeah, when I saw these cards, I just thought, hey, you know, they're really cool and I could make an anniversary card. So I wanted to use these 4 cards for the middle part. I know they are 3x4s, all right? So in terms of width of the base, right, if I were to put all these on here, in terms of that width, I need one that is because this is 4, and I decided to have a 1/16 border around it. All right, so I've got a 16 border, 16 border, 16 border. So in terms of the width of this card mat that I need, I will need 1/16 top and 1/16 the bottom, which makes 2/16. So that's 1/8. So, and if this is 4 inches long, then I need one that is 4 1/8 inch wide, okay, of that. So that's sorted. I need 4 1/8. Now, but in terms of this length, there are 4 of these, so I would need 3 times 4, which is 12 inches long. But remember that I'm going to have 1/8 here and 1/8 here as the border. Sorry, 1/16. So 1/16, 1/16, so that makes 2/16, which is 1/8. And so you multiply that by 4, 1/8, that will make a half. Have I done my maths right? So 3 times 4 will be 12, and then I need to add another 1/2 inch to it for all the little borders. So I need a panel that is, I need a strip that is 4 1/4 that width. Wait, did I say 4 1/4? No, I mean 4 1/8. Yeah, 4 1/8 for that width. And then I need a 12 and a half. 12 and a half, because it was, yeah, I hope I got all that right, 12 and a half. So now 12 and a half is too long for my standard size. Whoops, I think I have it. Just let me readjust that. My standard A4 card size, cardstock, is not quite 12 and a half. It's actually less than 12. All right, so I have a predicament here, right? So I'm going to have to do some cutting and gluing. So I have cut my cardstock, so this way, right, this being where these cards are going to be, so this is the 4 1/8 width. Okay, this is the 4 1/8 width, and I just cut it off the cardstock. So I need 2 of that. All right, so what it is I'm going to have to glue that together to make that strip of 12.5 inch that I need. Now, so this being 3 plus the 1/16 and 1/16, so that's 3 1/8. So I need to score 3 1/8, which is what I've done here, 3 1/8, and then 6 1/4. All right. So in this one, I cut it off, so because I know that this is going to be glued on here, so I don't need that extra flap. Now, that is quite a big flap, which is in excess, and also I can cut that bit off because I don't need such a big flap, and it will also reduce the bulk of the card. So let me just use my trimmer and let me cut off my hair. I'm just, there's no hard and fast rule. I'm kind of just, yep, this is what I mean. I don't have to remember measurements. I just have to work them out as I go, depending on what I have and what I want it to use. Right, so let me then now fold these, and it would be good to use a bone folder to crease it. Let me just grab that. Right, so creasing it, and then there's that one there too. Okay, that one. Okay, so I'm going to glue those two together. Let me use my Tombow. Tombow is generally my adhesive of choice. Oops, it's probably right. Hopefully, just going to grab that, just in case. I don't want to get glue onto my surface, my workbench. So, okay, I'm just going to glue that together. Give it a minute, because it's liquid glue. You need to give it a minute to set. I could possibly, I could possibly move. This is the good thing about the liquid glue. It gives you time. I'm just going to get a bit closer so that I can make sure that I'm gluing. That's right. Yep. That's better. Okay, so there, see, my accordion fold. All good? Now, let's do these bits, because I pretty much am happy with how I have made these. Okay, I'm going to glue these down. The hard thing about these cards is that there is a back side to it. It's always double-sided, so it almost seems kind of a waste to not be able to see the underside of it. Sometimes you don't care because you don't particularly care for the other side of it, and so it doesn't matter, but sometimes it's a real hard choice. Right, so then I'm just going to put that one. Look at these cute little birds. Radio. It's a huge Empress Sam, eh? Hope you can see. I'm just going to remove these now because I don't need them. I'm quite happy with that. And the clouds. Love the liquid glue because it means I have ability to move and adjust things. So let's start right down, and then the rainbow. Look, it says day in the life, so it's like a journal card that you could use in your memory keeping, but not today because we want the rainbows. Right, so this will be the pop-up card, the pop-up in the middle of the card, right? It will pop up saying, looking like this. So that's one part. So you can see how I have started my card based on the pop-up inside, the elements inside that I wanted to use. Right, so, and I can just work out. I don't have a specific measurements that I actually have to remember. All I need to know is how to get those measurements. Right, now, the easiest way, from Maylay Made It Again, she is saying now the next part is the mechanism to pop it up. And she's basically suggesting that we use the exact same size, okay, of the exact same length and the exact same width of the card that you're using. Now, in my case, in this case, because I told you before, like this whole length is actually more than 12-inch. So, and I've had to do some, you know, cutting of the cardstock and pasting it together to get that length. So I decided that for this card, I can get away with, this is straight from A4. I did not have to do any measurements. I just basically cut it out, the width of that, so which is 4 1/8. Is that right? 4 1/8. So I just do one cut there, 4 1/8, and that is, so I don't have to think about the other side. It's not quite the full length, but if I kind of, you know, it just means I'm a little bit out on each end, which is fine. So this part here, again, rather than have measurements, very simple. You've got the length that you wanted, and you've got that width worked out. So then all you need to do is fold this in half, or you can score it, but you know, I'm just trying to show you how easy it is. You don't even have to know the measurements, because if you were to score it, then you'd have to find out exactly where to score it. So yeah, so you can see it's edge to edge. Okay, I'm just folding it in half and doing a real big crease, okay, with my burnish it really well. And then you do the same on the other edges. So edge to edge. So I use my finger first, then I burnished it properly. Alright, simple so far, nice and easy, just basically folding it in half both ways. Now the next bit is you want to make a crease diagonally here, and you want to make a crease diagonally here. Again, in other videos, it gives you specific measurements of where you need to mark, and you know, and so that you can make your diagonal lines, which is fine. But you run into trouble when you are working with specific cards that you have or that you want to, and you know, specific measurements. So in order to not have to do that, you can do this, right? Once you've worked out you only have to work out what width, what length, and what width your card is going to be, and then you can do all these bits without having to measure and mark things. So what she did, now this can be a bit tricky when you haven't done, basically you want a crease that way, right? You want a diagonal crease that way. So if you kind of see this crease here, so I'm kind of, you know, looking at what I'm going to do. I know that I'm going to have to do it this way. Now what she's saying, what the tip is, if you line up this crease line with that crease line, So like so. Okay. And then hold it there. Turn it over. Now this line, line it up with that crease line. You might need to do a twist, might need to do a little bit of a twist, and when you're happy with it, okay, that, and I'm just going to twist that again just to make sure. Yep, happy with that. So let's bring it up close. Can you see the crease line actually matches that part and that part? And if you turn it over, that and that matches. Right, so there, you've got that crease, that diagonal crease. Now the next crease is that crease. So if you run your hand, you know that it's going to go through there. See how I picked that up? And now I know I need to line this with this. Okay, hopefully. Let me see. And then turn it over. This with that. When you actually try to do this, that will make more sense, okay? So kind of, I might not have done that very well, but here, let me just do that again. Right, twist that, and then that. I'm going to make sure that they're lined up. Okey-doke. Right, so now I've got my creases. Right, so hopefully you recap that. You fold your cardstock in half, fold that one in half, and then in order to make the diagonal lines, you fold it, you're matching the score line with the score line, turn it over to make sure that that one also matches. All right, and then you do the other side as well. So that's what you end up with. Now this is the interesting part. If you pull that in, okay, yeah, so if you pull that in, so what you want to do is kind of fold that in half, or make your paper go in half, and pull that in, and you end up having this little arrow formation. Right, so you're just kind of making sure that that's nice and little. That one. So you end up having this triangle top with two legs. Okay, all right, so then you've got this part already done. Now this part here, if you open it out again, this is where, if it was the same length, it would be easy. You would just you know, you're just going to glue that on, and you're gonna line it up, and then you're going to glue in that specific places. But ours is not exactly the same length. So the thing is, we have to measure the middle. We have to line the middle up. So that is going to line up with that middle. And it is the same height or width. So I just have to straighten it up. Double checking. Always double checking. You're happy with that. So it's like I'm lining those middle bit up. Lining the middle bit up. That's not quite straight. Okay, happy with that. So I'm going to put that in the middle. I'm going to lay it down, not moving that. Fold this flap in. Now you see there's the crease line is here. You want to glue the top quadrant, top right corner. Okay. not having moved this. And then now I want to do the bottom left. And probably put a bit more, but you don't want it too much that it oozes out everywhere. And just flip that over. Right. So there. So now, if I this is your pop-up. Right. Ta-da! That's the twist and pop-up. So there, that's my middle bit done. Alright, now for the card front, the card base. This is where May its tip came in handy again. She's basically saying leave about ½ an inch off each side. Okay, so your card base will need to measure about ½ an inch slightly bigger. You do not want a card that is right on. I think if you allow yourself some gaps, then you'll be sweet. You can make it wider if you want, 5 by 7 perhaps, if you want it to make that big. But I have made it so that it is 4.5 by 6 3/4. 6 3/4, 4.5. Okay, so again I have to do I'm not able to, do one length of a A4 card size. So I have had to do a cut and glue scenario again, right, to make that size card. So so what do I need to do is I need to glue this. And then just line this up on that. Right. I tend to use that, but I tend to have that as my bottom there. There you go. Now, so this part will go on the inside of this. Is glue it down close like this, and then just before it sets properly, when you open it up, just make sure that it's straight. Okay, and I can tell that it's not quite straight, so if I move it down a bit, right there, now it's looking better. Now it's alright having that glue part, because I will fix that. Radio, and then now that part there, I'm just going to put glue on here, and have that line over there. Oh, this is disastrous. See, that goes like that. Okay. So there you have it.